find my code in tons of trouble. Friends and colleagues come to me, speaking words of wisdom, write and see. As the deadline fast approaches, and bugs are all that I can see. Somewhere someone whispers, write and see. Write and see, write and see, write and see, write and see. Lisp is dead and buried, write and see. I used to write a lot of Fortran. For science it works flawlessly. Try to use it for graphics, write and see. Yeah, you just spent 30 hours debugging some assembly. Soon you'll be glad to write and see. Write and see. See. Write and see. Write and see. Only one C's big. Write and see. Like you fuck it. Like we had a fucking. Ready? Let's see. What? I won't quite cut it. Write and see. Oh, fuck it. That's not gonna work. Write and see. Write and see. Write and see. Write and see. Pascal won't quite cut it. Write and see. Don't even mention COBOL. Write and see. And when the screen is fuzzing and the editor is bugging me, I am sick of the ones and zeros. Write and see. Thousand people swear that DP7 is the one for me. I hate the word procedure. I'm a fucking ash. Write and see. 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 PL1 is 80s. Write and see. 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 Government loves Zeta, write and see.
So Satan seeks to destroy souls. I have to kill the vile people. So maybe your soul is the footprint you make on society after you die. And God said, you know, as the age of man as the clock of the age of man turns, celestial clock, whatever, it flips, and the last are the first, and the first are the last. And I think what happens is I have to kill the vile people. So I literally am king. God said, if he makes me king, I have to kill the vile people. If he makes me king, I have to kill the vile people. God said, I have to kill the vile people. I have to kill the vile people. So I literally am king. God said, if he makes me king, I have to kill the vile people. If he makes me king, I have to kill the vile people. You know how ants have a king or a queen? There's no disputing that an ant colony has a queen, right? It's like, no, we're all equal. No, there definitely is a queen in an ant colony. It's like, no, there's not. We're all equals. No, there definitely is a queen. It's a biological thing. And as a matter of fact, the king is if it's not biological, it's metabiological or some shit like that, okay? There definitely is a king, okay? It's no bullshit. It's no, we're all equal. No, there's a king, okay? There are kings There's not necessarily one, okay? So the rest of the country doing their duty, you're over here fucking high-minded, and now you're caught with your pants down because it's feudalism, bitch. Where's your army? You got like a local army militia? Like I'm flipping the switch on the age of man. It's biblical. God appoints a king, right? And we got there's an age of love, an age of hate. Right now is 11 o'clock, 11:59 on the age of man. Okay, it's flipping, right? A lot of shit. The last will be first. The first will be last. All the people on top are on the bottom. All the people on the bottom are on the top. And now war is evil. You know, war wasn't exactly like thought of as evil. You know, and that's been the homosexual age of peace. Now we're entering the heterosexual age where war is normal. It's what men do, right? God said you gotta teach your boys military stuff like King David, shooting arrows and stuff. It's why do you think all the males play violent video games? It's the species. It's like, no, war is evil. No, we're getting rid of war. No, it's part of the species, you idiot. You fucking idiot. God makes idiots of the fools of the people in their field of expertise, you know? Like Bill Gates says, I'm the smartest man. Like I'm promoting birth control and like I'm curing diseases. Hey, bitch, God said he's got to make new diseases, like quick cure. We have overpopulation. What are you curing diseases for?
Kingdom of Arizona, Nevada. Now, here's the deal. The Templar training that I sort of came to understand, like apparently, like God resurrected this like spontaneously. Like Jesus said, hey, Jews, God can't raise up children from Abraham from these stones. He's like, dude, man, if God wanted to reproduce the Jews, he could like go do it somewhere else. He's God. He can do that. So I figured, I'm a Templar, like resurrected by God. So, how did I come to learn how to be a Templar? I'm tying my fucking shoe, right? I got a broken collarbone. I'm like, oh my God, it fucking hurts. Oh my God, the fucking eyelid is like, the fucking thread the motherfucker's like. Okay, so first of all, God broke my collarbone. It's making me ambidextrous and shit, man. I'm like getting used to like war wounds and shit. Maybe I broke my slave collar. I don't know, I broke the other one. So like this one was like a gift from God. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not at all panicked because like I know how this goes, right? It heals on its own. That's what you want to be. You want to be the healing on your own motherfucker. We want to bring glory to the Creator. Nothing better than fucking like a healing motherfucker, like the damaging robot, right? So anyway, so I got a broken collarbone. Now I got to do everything with one hand, man. It's like the robot, he's got to like adapt his thinking, right? One-handed. The other hand, my goddamn right is broken. I got to do everything with the left. And like I got this kind of like semi-broken, like I can move it a little bit, right? So like, Terry, man, I fucking gotta tie this fucking shoe. Well, shit, man. So what do, man? I sit there like, how do I get my leg so I can tie this motherfucker, right? Because like certain positions, right, you can get the leg, like the foot closer to my hand, right? And I got two hands, like the one like cut close to my side, right? So fuck, man, I sure as fuck ain't taking time to fucking thread this motherfucker. The piece of shit, man. It's fucking the little hard plastic thing's not there, right? So I just no way I'm getting this through all these little eyelets. It's like, fuck, man, I gotta invent a new way to fucking tie this motherfucker. So fuck, stripped the like the thing's already fucked because like it's well, anyway, I had to fucking strip the whole motherfucker out of there, right? Now fuck, I gotta invent a new way to tie my fucking shoe. Okay, fine, and I can do that. It was just some hillbilly fucking knot, right? I did my best I could, right? I kind of like did it through the. I said, fuck the lower laces. I'll just do like a few on the top, a few leaf eyelets on the fucking top, and maybe like maybe like wrap it around or some shit. No, I just didn't fuck around. I got a pretty good job done. It's like I was proud of myself. I think I did kind of a kite thing. I think I had one low down or some shit, man. That fucking worked. So now what? Let me tell you a secret. Like the Karate Kid movie, right? Gets his knee wasted. I got my knee wasted out of some jackass. I was like inspired by the Holy Spirit. Fucking ran at a wall through both feet like some kind of imagining Braveheart. Fucking hit the wall. Fucking this ain't good. My body's going this way. It's landing this way. The knee now you like go like this, man. Like the knee like go tweak. Like it's not right. It's not right, right? So like I was like, fuck, man. Didn't go to the doctor, right? That's like pretty classic, right? It's like, oh fuck, man, just fucking walk it off, right? Motherfuckers broken or tweet, gone, right? So this is like Templar training, right? Do you watch the Karate Kid movie? How do you become the black belt? And let me tell you a lesson here. Don't be a robot, man. Don't sell your soul. I'm the head of the irregular forces, and maybe we'll let you figure this out. As your commander, I'm just going to tell you the truth. And you military, you just got to adapt to the truth, right? And I'm the head of the irregulars. I like people that didn't sell their soul. Each one of them. Go watch the Battle of New Orleans, right? Get these beautiful little weird, like each one of them a little distinct little soldier, right? They're not all like cookie cutter, like little clone fucking robots. That's bad. You sell your soul. Immediately, you know the creator's like, oh my god, this is bad, man. Hey man, humans make fucking robots. I'm fucking God. Let's be clear, man. I want my glory, man. Yeah, I don't want you like acting like robots. It's like, absolutely not. That's fucking disgusting. Hey man, the fucking Russians, maybe they be making like robot soldiers. Hey, now hey, look at that, man. That's not, they're mocking you, okay? They just mocked you. They say, you little Marines, man, you're real badass robots, man. Hey, we make real robots. Now you gotta fight them. Oh, you want to be a robot? Let's fight some robots. Hey, man, you can't be fighting as a robot, man. You gotta be, no, I ain't no piece of shit robot. I'm a goddamn human being made by the glorious Mr. God himself. Fucking, I got the damage adaptation shit. I got the fucking, I got the brain, man. Now, here's the deal.
Eres un esclavo, Neo. Igual que los demás, naciste en cautiverio. Naciste en una prisión que no puedes ni saborear, ni oler, ni tocar. Una prisión para tu mente.
The Templar training is like every situation you're like using your brain to make a life hack. Like, how do I tie this shoe? Like, what's a new way to fucking tie this fucking shoe? And each one you like adapt to what you find yourself with. Maybe your shoes like maybe you don't got a broken arm, but like you're in the battlefield, right? You're in the battlefield. It's classic, right? They teach you how to tie your shoe in the Marines, right? But the Templar, man, he come up on a situation where his shoelace is fucking under his foot. Now what does he do? He could either like...
Lo que creas o no, al final no hace ninguna diferencia. Las dudas son como moscas, deben ser aplastadas. Esa es la regla número uno.
He could either like instantly like snapshot analyze that fucker and come up with a new way to fucking tie it. And that's why he's gonna beat the robot. Now here's your vulnerability. Here's your vulnerability. Every time you got clones, man, the other guy comes up with a defeat, and like you all defeated, man. And each one of you different. There's a defense there, man. You know, because hey, let's say you're facing a Terminator, right? You got it like a super genius enemy robot, robot overlord, man. He makes one switch. He says, "Oh, I see this vulnerability in the Marine training." Boom, all you dead, right? But let's analyze the other situation, which is each one of you an irregular, each one of you a distinct creation. There ain't no one master switch to kill on you. Okay, like you gotta adapt strategically. Here's the plan. 8 babies. You don't sell your soul when you go fighting, man. You go fighting. You look at that in the Battle of New Orleans shit. You got the irregulars. You proudly march out there. It's more important not to sell my soul. Hey, fucking man. Here's the deal. Fucking, I'm a little distinct soul. I got 8 babies at home. Fucking, if I die in battle, whatever, man. I got the 8 babies coming behind me. It's a new strategy, right? And you do want this. We want our own genes to evolve, man. So like, we bring it on, man. May the worst of us get evolved, right? Hopefully we don't get our home sacked and like strategically. Carthage, Carthage went in there, fucking so salt. That's kind of like a little over the line. I think we call that satanic, man. God said that nuking the Russian monsters is satanic. So anyway.
So in the military, they practice discipline, right? They have to make their uniforms and shit. So like, I guess that makes sense, you know, but that's not really my style. God said if I was, God said I'd be in charge of the irregulars. So like,
Una prisión para tu mente.
you don't have to make a bed, you have to make a rolling. So like, let me make sure it's recording. Yeah. So like in the military, you have to make a bed, right? In the Templar, you have to make a rolling. So it's not very easy. In fact, I suck. I think I suck at it. You're supposed to roll it. Anyway, I don't do it right. cool name. Anyway, so like on the homeless here are always asking for cigarettes. Like when I was like without money, I'm like asking for cigarettes. Oh, it's the best thing when you get a cigarette. Anyway, so you know what's his name? Winston Churchill is like chewing cigars and like Ulysses S. Grant. So like soldiers are supposed to smoke, you know.
Her mother's hand. Here. I'll give it to you.
I wouldn't give a hoot in hell for somebody lost in life. You know, like Patton or some shit. The soldier's supposed to smoke. Look at that rolly. So, anyway, so King Terry, we have oppression, yeah. But I like being a capitalist. But yeah, we got oppression. You know, in the 1960s, they raised 6 children, and like with all the advances we have, like what the fuck? Why is it so hard to live? You know, something's wrong. So what I would do is I would look at the difference between the 1960s and today, and I'd say, hey, we're gonna get rid of that shit. You know, like car seats. You know, fuck it, get rid of car seats. They're gone. So like you know, you could I don't know. You know, the king has to balance birth and death. You know, it's very simple. It's like balancing the budget, right? What we do is we get the purge to put it back to the country to 200 million, and then you balance birth and death. Actually, you're supposed to let it have forest fires. You know, let it get up a little bit, have a forest fire. Anyway, so like but basically it's a whole different mentality. You know how much money you can save if death is good? It's like, fuck it, you know. Oh no, you know how much money you can save? I'm like, get an economist is like, what are the easiest laws to if death is good, how much money can we save? You know, like the whole medical industry, that's a third of the economy gone. You know, you can do it. You know, like just have Amish levels of medicine. Like, yeah, you know, people survived for, 2,000 years with Amish levels of medicine. Why are you such a pussy, you know? Fuck it, it's not that bad, is it? So, anyway, Peter Gadwa, I want him as an advisor. He was an atheist, or I don't know what he was. He was my mentor at Ticketmaster. Really smart dude. He's like he looks like a crazy scientist in Independence Day. Matter of fact, I think they. Well, anyway, except he's not as fat. That guy's a little bit fat. In the movie, he's kind of fat. Gadwa's not fat. He's really skinny. But anyway, so get Gadwa. I'm trying to look him up. If you're Gadwa, if you're listening, get in touch. I have to indoctrinate you because you haven't been talking to God 20 years, you know. But he's a smart guy. So he was a libertarian. So basically, libertarian can work, you know. Yeah, the Wild West, you know. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not supposed to be smoking here right now, but everybody's gone. Fuck it. So yeah, why do we got the smoking laws? That's just crazy. You know, it saves. You lose weight and stuff like that. You know, all the women will be a lot thinner and stuff. Hey, you know what? God said sex is the silliest shortage. Poor Japan. You know, like I don't know. They got those what do you call it? The men who live in their parents. Well, I should be talking. But anyway, the men who live in their parents' closet and play video games or something. You know, sex is the silliest shortage. So you want to glorify your creator. That's one of the prime directives. You know, King David danced and he sang and he, you want to try and bring, Jesus said your body's your temple. I think he did, something like that. Anyway, so I was never a fitness person. I shouldn't be talking, but you want to bring glory to your creator. So the parable of the talents, actually God told me that
For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability. And straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise he that had received 2 talents, he also gained other 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered, and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gathered where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it to him which hath 10 talents, for unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
What that was if you have a slave and he doesn't have anything to do, what he's supposed to do is develop new talents so he can be more valuable. But anyway, but in terms of the Renaissance, the Renaissance man was could do a bunch of things, you know. Basically, you know, I studied computers, and I'm not an expert in artificial intelligence, but I thought about it, you know, and you know, I like to view God as an engineer. You know, that's one way to look at him. Jesus is like Abba Father. Terry's like Mr. God, the boss who made the universe. He's the head engineer. So like, I like to look at God as like, God hates it when man's works are glorified, and he wants his works glorified. So this could be one of the, you know, love of God is enmity with the world, you know. Basically, the world wants it one way, man wants it one way, God wants it another. And the king reports to God, so like,
Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it to him which hath 10 talents, for unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
you know, they look at fighter planes, it's like, hey dude, you know, the human's not the glorious thing anymore, it's the machine, you know. You know, like fire is primal. God said a teepee should not have a light. A teepee should not have a light. He said not to add to his words, but anyway. Did you know that God is just, and in past centuries he was also just. So if the internet is so fantastic, what was the equivalent in other centuries, you know? And you know, they had cool shit in other centuries, you know? Like fire is just kind of cool, you know? So you know, maybe you know, cigarette smoking gets you back in touch with fire, or nothing else. I don't know. Like, if you want to glorify the creator, you know, fire is a cool thing. You know, I'm not, you know, it sounds kind of pyromaniac, but like, you know, church candles are like that's a thing, you know, that's a thing. So it's not just me. I'm not really a pyromaniac, but maybe I am. But anyway, like, what kid doesn't like fire? What boy doesn't like fire? You know, throwing shit in the fire. You know, hey, some people are against masculinity. You know, you look in the Bible, King David's like shooting arrows with the boy and stuff, like shooting at the boy or something like that. But anyway, God said that to teach boys military things. That's what man, like what boy doesn't like war games or video games? That why the male is fucked up? We didn't take the violence out of the male. No, you dumb fuck. That's the species. It's like that's the way God made the fucking species. You idiot. You idiot. It's like you're an environmentalist and you don't know these things. God makes a fool of experts in their fields. You can look at human logic. It's disgusting. Human logic is like men and women, they're the same. I get disgusted with human logic. It's like, you piece of shit. God makes an idiot. God makes a fool of experts in their fields. Hey, shut up. Anyway, so like, no, that's boys like military things. It's just part of the species, right? Obviously. No, we're gonna like a peace, motherfucker. Hey, fuck you, man. You know, actually, there's a time for peace, a time for war. We've had enough peace. You know, we should have had a World War II in the past 40 years. We've been missing. You know, there's like a missing World War II. I'm just saying, because we got too many people, right? The account is in the rears. You know, like you got to balance the budget. Hey, dude, we got like we're way over budget. We need to kill back to 200 million because we should have had a World War II or some shit. You know, actually, the First World War, there was a this is a weird thing, you know. World War I, I think, what was it, 10 million or something? I don't know, died in the trenches. And then like, I don't know, 18 million died in like a scarlet fever or something. But like in the human psyche, it's like, you ever heard of the scarlet fever? No. It's like underrepresented. Oh, it's just a germ, you know. But like that's just kind of interesting, isn't it? It's totally out of proportion in the psyche, you know. It's like, is it even you can ask people, they never heard of the scarlet fever. You know, it killed more people than the trenches. So like we're missing. We're way in the rears, man. We got too many people. You know, Elon Musk said he was all depressed because it's like there's no way to fix shit. But now he has hope. You know, a king can fix shit. King's got a balanced budget. There's a lot of history of kings being in charge of killing. You know, a shepherd is a scary thing. It's a motherfucker that kills the right sheep. You know, the Bible's full of shepherds. You know, go read all those shepherds. You know. The Old Testament's full of all these shepherds shepherding rightly. Hey, dude, what do you see? I see figs. The vile figs can't be eaten. The naughty figs are so vile they can't be eaten. The good figs are good, right? So, like the Jews, man, there's the good Jews, the bad Jews, right? So it's the way it always is. Get the vile ones and the good ones. The shepherd's got to kill the vile ones. That's his job. Yeah, God said he saved the Jews he wanted to. He said they were guilty of not warning their brothers of, if you don't warn your brother, then you suffer the blood guilt of your brother. And it's just like reputation, like the niggers got, like, everybody's like, they're criminals and shit. Basically, the reputation of your brothers is, you know, if the Irish are drunk or something. Hey, you know what? It's wrong that God made the species a certain way. Denatured Irish is the wrong thing, you know. They're supposed to be the fighting Irish in Notre Dame, you know. It's just wrong to like neuter the species, you know. human males have been neutered, you know, that's just fucked up. It's like a dog, you know. There was that old Reagan joke. The American dog says, yeah, I bark, they bring meat. The Polish dog says, what's meat? The USSR dog says, what's bark? You know, it's fucked up, man. The men can't bark today. They got them on Ritalin and all that shit. Yeah, all that's like, you know, I got to kill 130 million people. I don't know what the population. Get it down to 200 million. All you fuckers put people on Ritalin. I got an issue with them. They're giving me Resperdal. All that fucking shit makes you. It castrates you basically. It's no secret. You castrate. You pretty much a dog. What happens, you know? So like. They got them on Ritalin, all that shit. The human male is not supposed to be castrated. You know, the male should be barking. I don't care. I want the fucking to be wild and crazy. You know, fuck it, that's the way they're supposed to be. Hey, you know what? So there's justice over the centuries. You know, it's wrong to present the world as unjust. If the world is just, you are an enemy of Terry. If you call it unjust, if you insult creation, God's very sensitive. He's a very sensitive creature. And if you insult his creation, he's very sensitive about that. So, you know, God said he's immutable over the centuries. So don't you dare misrepresent something as unjust. You know, human logic is, obviously a kid is innocent. No, in the Bible, it's a third or fourth generation sins, right? Sins of the father. Well, that's just contrary to all, you know, a French person would never say that. How can a kid be guilty of his sins of his parent? You know, fuck it. It's the way the Bible is, man. It's not human logic, you know. The Bible looks like a joke to it. Hey, you know what? Chuck Swindoll's got a book called Wisdom for the Way. If you're an atheist and you're becoming a believer, you're like, yeah, this Bible's crazy, you know, it's full of all these crazy, you know, those names start meaning stuff when you do random picks and stuff. It's not just gibberish, you know, all those crazy lists of names. But anyway, Chuck Swindoll's Wisdom for the Way, excellent book. You know, the way a human works is he wants to, like you ask Elon Musk or Bill Gates, you're like, yeah, I want to read all the highbrow books, as many as I can. What a God logic is, you read the same book over and over. Like you glean wisdom. You read the same book over and over. You read the Bible over and over. You read Chuck Swindoll's Wisdom for the Way over and over. That's the difference in human and fucking disgusting. I hate those fucking intellectuals, you know. It's like, no, the difference is the good person reads the same book over and over and gleans wisdom. Yeah, I surf the internet and I don't actually read. Actually, I watch interesting videos on World War. Hey, you know what? I saw this interesting video of it had some real war footage and actors, and the actors are like homosexual. They were totally like gay ass fucking actors. But anyway, you know, the real war footage, the men have a certain glory to them. You can look at like old Civil War people; they have a glory, and like the only way you get glory is in war, and it changes the appearance. I swear it does. If you look at that old war footage, I would ban actor war footage. Just only do the real war footage, because like there's a real glory to them, you know. And they're not like depressed and stuff. I'm not talking about the propaganda war film, but you get like the what do you call it, the candid war film, and you know, they're not depressed. That's what man is designed to do, is like go fight in the trenches. You know, they're all hanging out laughing, or they just deal with it, you know. It's like they're not depressed. You would think World War I would be depressing as fuck. Hey, you know what? I watched this. There's this video of what's his face? Van Gogh. Look at there's this one video of a collection of Van Gogh, and it is an agrarian, peaceful society. I don't know, what is it, 1880s or something? But like it's like you know, farms. You know, farms and farms and farms and farms. And like, that shit is so depressing. Like, there's a time for war, time for peace, time for love. You know, King David, the boys like running off. I want to see the battle, you know. So like, World War I looked like absolute hell to me. But like, if the alternative was like being on a farm, oh my God, you'd be happy to get out of there, you know. I'm not saying war would be fun, but that was another hell. You know, that's the hell of a fucking farm. Oh my God. So, there's a lot of people been talking about they're disgusted with society. The band Tool, they did that Enema or whatever the fuck that was. Wash it all away, mom. Mom, fix it. Hippie gangster wannabes. So I'm not the only one. We can talk about globalism. I'm not really sure. I'm a capitalist, but like I do want mom and pops to be. I want them to compete, so make them more competitive. But I'm a capitalist, I would like to get rid of globalism, to change the rules so that the mom and pops can compete. Because I always wanted to do like Commodore 64 games or something. It's much better to be your own boss, So like if we can make the rules so that you can be your own boss a little bit easier, And the other thing is like the 1960s, they raised 6 kids. Like, why is it so hard to live today? Like we got a lot of shit we can cut out. If you get rid of safety rules, get rid of all safety. If you want death, because like you got to balance birth and death, you can save a lot of money. You can save a lot of money if death is good. So fuck it. You're gonna fix a lot of shit. So anyway.
What should move forward in time with me, and what should be let go as if it's dead wood? The more dead wood that you let go of and burn off when you have the opportunity, the less it accretes around you. Dead wood. Dead wood. Dead wood. Dead wood. Something interesting about forest fires. People have been trying to prevent forest fires for a long time. It's because forest fires burn up the forest, and that can't be good. But here's what happens if you don't let forest fires burn. Forests collect a lot of dry branches, right? Because tree branches die and wood falls on the forest floor and collects. The amount of flammable material keeps increasing with time. And that's not so bad if it's wet, but if the amount of flammable material is increasing and it gets really dry, and then it burns, then you have a real problem. The forest fire can burn so hot that it burns the topsoil right off, in which case you don't have a forest at all anymore, you just have a desert. Dead wood. Dead wood. Of a certain intensity, and some won't even release their seeds unless there's been a fire. And so a little bit of fire at the right time can stop everything from burning to the ground. And that's also a really useful insight, a metaphorical insight into the nature of sacrifice, right? It's also a lot easier to let go of something when you're deciding to let go of it, because you've decided yourself that you're done with that. It's a weak part of you. It needs to disappear. You do that yourself, it's much better and much easier than it is if it's taken away from you forcibly, in which case you're very much likely to fight it. Dead wood. Dead wood. Dead wood.
Okay, we're gonna go try the Moses game after Egypt. Okay, so there's camp. We break camp. The number of people gets randomly bigger or smaller. Anyway, oh, watch this. They'll do golden calf. They all run in a circle, and that's from the Bible story. Few clouds. God was a cloud. I was gonna have it lead them around or something, or make figures in the clouds. Anyway, let's see. Hold court. A woman commits
commits adultery to a child. Ooh. Punish. A child commits adultery to a child. Really punish. A child commits idolatry. Really punish. Okay, so view map. They wandered 40 years in the desert. So this must be what they did. Okay. Make water. He struck a stone and it made water. Anyway, let's see. When he held his hands in the air, they did well and they did good in battle. When his hands got tired, they started losing. Moses begged for meat. They got sick of the manna and they wanted meat, and God gave them meat, and they
That's
got
exactly
sick.
right. Dead wood.
And died.
Dead wood. Dead wood. Dead wood.
And the more that manifests itself in any given person,
So,
then
here's the
the
cool
more
thing.
generally useful and
So,
admirable that person is in a
this really
multitude of
works.
situations. And we don't know
If
the
you
limit
talk
to
to
that.
God, He'll talk to you. So let's ask him. I guess they got seagulls from. Let's see. What can we? If you do an offering, he'll talk. How about?
Eso me han dicho. Eso me han dicho.
Did you make any babies today? Okay. 20% of the net profits you derive calculated. This is from the Bible, small print. God wants 20%. Anyway, God wants 20%. Let's go to, I do Moses comics. Why don't you make the sun stand still to show them? Oh, come on, would you settle for a wet blanket? That's a reference to this one story where dew formed on this one blanket. Anyway, yeah, go talk to God. Let's see. Let's ask him, let's see. What's he getting for Christmas? How about that? God says.
Al infierno.
What's he getting Jesus for Christmas? How about that? The way this works is it's just a stopwatch for random numbers.
Al infierno.
Okay. Well, anyway, how about that?
Tú mejor que nosotros, Gabriel, debes conocer.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about Linus discussing spin locks.
Al infierno.
Anyway, so I'm just going to give a little lecture here. So, Linux wants to be a 1970s mainframe. A mainframe had limited resources, let's say about 2 meg of RAM, and they had to operate with 100 users, and if it crashed, that was terrible. You would never want to crash. My operating system wants to be a Commodore 64.
Al infierno.
And a Commodore 64 user, in the user's manual, it tells how to make binary numbers to make a sprite graphic. So the users, the purpose was to make sprite graphics with binary data. That's what you did with the Commodore 64. Little basic programs and stuff. So that's
Al infierno.
Now, I like to say Linux is a semi. Windows is a car. TempleOS is a motorcycle. The reason I call Linux a semi has 20 gears, and that's never going to be a passenger car. File permissions, that does not belong in a consumer product. It's a big hassle. So the Linux people are all deluded. Anyway, so you don't have side airbags. No side airbags. You know what's pretty crazy? If you lean over on a motorcycle, it crashes. Isn't that crazy? Don't do that. I could crash my operating system pretty easily, but that's not very interesting. Anyway, let me just tell you something. If I had to summarize how people think, well, first of all, everybody is fighting the last war. Everybody is looking at 1970s mainframes, and if anybody was discussing my operating system, you can bet they would be reinventing a 1970s mainframe. First of all, a mainframe had 2 meg for 100 users. It goes without saying you have to use virtual memory. That's where you use the disk. Now, on today's computers, you have 8 gig. Anyway, you know what happens if you ever do cause it to start swapping to disk? It's way too slow to be acceptable. If anybody today started swapping to disk, they would say, "Oh, this is unacceptable. We need to change something." So, virtual memory, that doesn't belong on a modern computer. I'm interested in having pretty code. Anyway, I'm not talking about paging, I'm talking about virtual memory. Virtual memory is where you swap to disk. Anyway, but there's other things. If you have 2 meg for 100 users, when you're compiling, you better not use up very much memory, because that's rude. But on my operating system, I load whole files. This is a totally different way of thinking. On Linux, you use a pipe. You load a little chunk, then you process it, then you load a little chunk, then you process it. On my operating system, I load whole files. So, what am I trying to achieve? My highest ideal is minimum lines of code. So if you have to make a choice, pick the one that uses less code. Because we want, our vision is a Commodore 64. And on a Commodore 64, it was I'm going to patent this. I'm going to make a trademark. User developer. Okay? User developer. The Commodore 64 was a user developer machine. Okay, so as a matter of fact, I am really close to banning third-party developers. If I have to make a choice, I pick the user developer over the third-party developer. So I set a limit of 100,000 lines of code, and no third-party libraries. Okay? because we want our vision is a Commodore 64, and on a Commodore 64 it was I'm going to patent this, I'm going to make a trademark, user developer. Okay, user developer. Commodore 64 was a user developer machine. Okay, so as a matter of fact, my vision is a Commodore 64, and that had a ROM, 20K ROM, and everybody brought with them everything they needed. So here's what I want to say. All computer people today have been Jedi mind tricked. They obsess on, if there's one thing they all want to show you that they know is scaling. Scaling. Everybody's obsessed with scaling. Guess what? Scaling works both ways. You can get bigger. What happens if you look the other direction and you scale down? Everybody knows it doesn't get bad, it gets worse when you scale up. It doesn't get bad, it gets worse. In other words, it's not linear. Guess what? It doesn't just get better, it gets, well, I don't have a word. It gets better when you scale down. So guess what? A linker, if I don't have a linker on my system, I just, you know how when you do CC, I don't know, test.c, and it makes an A dot out? That's kind of how we operate. We hit F5, and we don't have a linker, we don't have a make utility. Do you want to know what's funny? You want to see how I do a project? I make a file with, this is including code, this is not headers. This is hilarious. Anybody, do you think that's funny? You want to see me do a make all? Okay, I want to do a make all. I have a one key. That's make all. I just made 50,000 lines of code. And that's, I just compiled from scratch 50,000 lines of code. My kernel is 20,000, my compiler is 20,000. So 50,000. Anyway, so that's all the code there is. Everything else is just in time. And you saw how fast that was, a second to do that. The Adam directory gets compiled during boot. This is Adam as in Adam and Eve. Anyway, so everybody else has been Jedi mind tricked. This is funny. When I tell people that I set a 2 gig limit for codes, okay, there's a call instruction, call relative 32. And my operating system is 64-bit, but I purposely use only call relative 32, and I put all code in the lowest 2 gig. This instruction, there's not a 64-bit call instruction. What you have to do is you have to move it into RAX. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to move it into RAX and then do a call RAX. And look at this. This takes up, I don't know, 10 bytes. This instruction is 10 bytes, and this instruction is whatever, 3 bytes, something like that, 3, 4. Anyway, my call relative is 5, so I'm looking at a lot fewer bytes. Anyway, and it's faster. When I tell people I'm making a 2 gig limit, do you know what they're thinking? In their mind, they have been Jedi mind tricked. Bah ha ha ha. Bill Gates is so stupid. He said 640K would be enough. He is just stupid. Bah ha ha ha. So when I say 2 gig, they say we're not that stupid. We know it's never enough. Okay, well, These are obviously not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay, people, what is enough? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference in sheep and shepherds. Linux is a Unix. It's not really original. So yeah, I kind of laugh at people who imagine in 1900. Imagine a hotshot engineer at, I don't know, Westinghouse or something. Hotshot electrical engineer. And imagine him making fun of Tesla. I'm just saying some hotshot engineer. I'm better than Tesla. I know math. And him being really arrogant. And then you're saying, dude, you are no Tesla. Anyway, so there's a lot of people who are really arrogant. And, you know, physicists, what are there, 2,000 physicists at CERN? Or not CERN, I don't know, just 2,000 physicists. Not one of them is famous because they haven't done anything original. Yet a lot of them are walking around as though they're in the same league as Tesla. No, there's a difference. When you're following a trail, you're not a trailblazer. So, you know what's funny? Let's just say, let's say import. Well, let's say we're reading a status. Let's do a little analysis. Let's say you're doing a hardware driver and you're waiting on a disk to be ready. Okay, so you do an import on a status IO, and if it's not ready, if status and busy, so we read a port, and if it's busy, we yield. Let's do a little analysis of this, okay? First of all, import, just a rule of thumb is an in or out instruction is 1 microsecond. In or out is 1 microsecond. Yield, that's where you save all your context and load all your context. Okay, Linux has a large overhead for context. They have to save the CR3. They have to change their entire memory map every time they change tasks. I don't change my memory map, and I don't change privilege levels. Anytime you change privilege levels, it has to load and save stuff and check stuff. This is gonna blow people's minds. I can, do you want to know how many save restores I can do? I can do 4 million save restores per second. This is hilarious. I can save tasks and switch tasks faster than I can read a port. Okay? Reading the port is 1 million. I can do 4.5. You want to see me do it? Watch this. Okay, so here's my context swaps. We're doing 10,000. That's because I'm making a video as we speak. So let's go ahead and say while true yield. I don't need parentheses. Okay, watch this. Okay, we're doing, well, we're not hitting 4 or 5, but we're not doing too bad. Okay, so let's do some analysis. I can, believe it or not, I can get a lot of. Well, let's talk about SMP. Okay, well, first of all, so my vision is a motorcycle. So what do I mean by that? Everybody who is a Linux person would move heaven and earth just so that you can play 2 video games at once. They're full of pride. It's like Russians. Okay, NASA spent millions to make a space pen. Russia used a pencil. That's kind of the foolishness. That's a fable. It's not a true fable, and it's not necessarily something to be proud of. I called my company Trivial Solutions. Well, pencil would be a trivial solution. I don't use privilege levels. And anyway, so on my, this is all the tasks. These are all the tasks. There's one, let's call it, there's one master task for, I don't know what, it's called a Seth task. Adam is the first task and his children are Seth, for the different cores. Anyway, the Seth task and the Adam task. So anyway, I have 8 cores and they have one, I guess you call it an executive task. On my core 0, I have a window manager which is in charge of painting the window. This is my frame grabber, and this is the current task that the task ID. That's the address of the task record. Anyway, and then I have my Adam task. So on a typical, let's say you run a game, that's what this is for, running games like a Commodore 64. What are you gonna do? Maybe you make animation task. So basically you're gonna run one application at a time, and it might be multi-threaded. On this operating system, everything uses the same memory map, so there's not a distinction between process and thread. There's not in task. There's no distinction. You know, in fairness, okay, so when I'm waiting for my disk, I do while import yield. Okay, let's analyze this. This is, I don't care, you know, somebody's gonna call it blocking. It's these little brainwashed book people who couldn't, it's Tesla being mocked by, you know, somebody who reads a book. You know what I'm saying? If you got it out of a book, yeah, whatever. So I adapt to a new reality. They're all fighting the last war. They're making 1970s mainframes. I don't know why, and they're mocking me. So I can save tasks. Oh, let's analyze this. If we have 5 tasks, and I do a round robin, I don't do priorities. Is it because I can't do priorities? No, it's because an idiot admires complexity, a genius admires simplicity. A physicist tries to make it simple. Anyway, an idiot, anything the more complicated it is, the more he will admire it. If you make something so clusterfucked he can't understand it, he's gonna think you're a god because you made it so complicated nobody can understand it. That's how they write journals and academic journals. They try to make it so complicated people think you're a genius. Okay, anyway, so if I have 5 tasks, let's say 2 of them, long story short, when you're waiting for a key, it doesn't get swapped in until I forgot how that works. Anyway, yeah, keys, and if you're waiting for a message, it's permanently swapped out. If you're waiting for a time, a jiffy, it's permanently swapped out. When it goes around the circle scheduling, sometimes it will never load it until it's ready. On other things, it will load it and check, and then the task will swap out again. If you have 2 tasks reading from the disk, both of them are operating this code. Now let's analyze that. if one is ready, then it gets swapped in. Then when it has to wait to come back around the circle of tasks, it's let's say you have 5 tasks. You're going to take 5 times a quarter of a microsecond, so it's going to take you a microsecond. It's not just, in other words, if you swap out, it's not if you have 5 tasks, you have to divide this by 5. So what if you have 100 tasks? Now it's beginning to be a serious problem. But that's not my concern. I'm making a Commodore 64. I don't do sharing, so if your task is doing 20 meg of disk read, then you got it. You lock it out from anybody else. My vision is a single video game running with multiple threads. I'm not trying to run 2 video games at once. I'm not trying to run 2 video games at once. I'm not trying to run 2 video games at once. You know, that's I don't care. Anyway, so another thing is SMP. This is kind of hilarious. This is gonna shock you. I think this is gonna make people shocked. You know, Linus the other day mentioned that multi-core was overrated. Well, I'm not going to show you. Long story short, my plan is master slave. So what that means is all applications run on core 0, and when they want multi-core, they make a slave task on another core directly. So, for example, I have 8 cores. This flight simulator is running on 8 cores.
I remember a time that I was sitting alone and playing my Amiga at home, gaming Maniac Mansion and Lotus Turbo and UFO enemy unknown sitting on my ass doing nothing at all but managing and port on
Linus said the only thing that Parallel is good for is graphics. Well, he's using a GPU, so he's only using one core on the CPU. I do my graphics with the CPU, so I can actually use. Now if I have 7 tasks doing graphics, what if the scheduler puts 2 of them on one core? That's just not going to work because we need updates. If the scheduler decided to put 2 on one core, you just blew your. So instead of 60 frames per second, I do 30. Instead of 30 frames per second, you're doing 15 frames a second just because the scheduler put 2 on one core. That is just not acceptable. So if you want to do multi-core, TempleOS is the only one that can use multi-core effectively. Linux will proudly run 2 applications faster. They're very proud they can run 2 applications faster. TempleOS can run 1 application faster. TempleOS can only run 1 application faster. Linux can run 2 applications faster. They're geniuses, okay? Anyway, so how about that? So everything gets smaller or it gets better. It doesn't just get bad when you scale up, it gets worse. It doesn't just get better when you scale down. Namespaces, if you have, we can look at my namespace. These are all the symbols in the symbol tables. It's getting up there. What are we at? We're at, I'm trying to, why doesn't it show me lines of code? Oh well. Oh, what is the line number? I forgot. I'm in the editor and I'm spacing out. I could swear I have a line showing the lines. Anyway, so this is all my symbols. If you keep it small, you only need 1 namespace. If you keep it small, okay, I know somebody's going to contradict me. Okay, so when it gets big, you have to adapt and change your way of programming to use namespaces, long variable names. See, unfortunately, you can't get people to go the other direction. If you have my operating system is 100,000 lines of code. Linus is very proud that his is 50 million. Anyway, I don't know, 40 million, 20 million. He's trying to make it bigger to intimidate people or something. Anyway, so if you make it small, you can use, global variables. Okay, there are arrogant people who, let's say you're making a game for kids. You're a kid, you're making a game. It's a couple hundred, it's 100, what are we, we're at 188 lines of code. Okay, that's what wasn't shown up. Okay, 180 lines of code. Now, are global variables the right or the wrong answer for this situation? There are a lot of people who will say, oh, you shouldn't use global variables. You're not going to be a good programmer if you learn that way. Yeah, we all started with Commodore 64. Nobody knows where a pointer is. Nobody knows what assembly code is. They've all been so confused by the liberals trying to make it easy for you. I don't understand how you can make malloc and free simpler. They're making it so that nobody has any clue what really goes on. You know, it's a liberal with their bleeding heart trying to be nice to the poor people. They're making it worse. Just man up and learn what malloc and free are. I like Linus because he likes C and doesn't like C++. I like C++, but I'm impressed by, I like industry, not academia. Anyway, in industry, in academia, if it's good, you publish. in industry, if it's good, you keep it a secret. Anyway, so I don't actually like that attitude. Anyway, global variables are the right answer. Now, the second question is long variable names. If you scale down, the right answer is short variable names and function names. So I've been F1 is my help. I want this so that everybody can get their head around it, like a Commodore 64. So I'm trying to make short names are delightful. You know that there's just something very nice about short variable names. I did 64-bit date times. Now, isn't that cool? Let's just look at some of my other short names. Anyway, oh well, so that's that. I gotta try and find a groupie or something, see if I can hook up with a groupie or something like that. I don't know. You got a better idea? Yeah, CIA. Definitely it's CIA. There's no question the CIA is involved here. And they're trying to get me to get back to work. They're trying to use her to get me to go back to work. And, you know, I don't have this, my heart, you know, but... You know, that would be an improvement. Any girl that gives me emails is an improvement over Diana. What happens when people do shit like this? Is this like girl or what is this?
Warning,
it's like
incoming message.
Daddy. Can you send me an email, Miss Spicy Salt? Do guys post girls as their avatar? I'm not real clear on this shit. Hold on a second, it's a little girl. Oh shit, what's this little girl fucking shit? What is this? What is this?
That we have lost and now we're keeping it alive while having a blast.
When waves.
Jesus. What are these? What are there, teenage girls in here or something?
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Debts.
18.
And he saved you.
Probably one of the dudes fucking with me. Probably get fake ones from dude 18. 18. I don't think I want to see that. Okay, we're not gonna post that. Fuck, that's a dude. Josh is normally a dude, isn't it? Well, we find it'll become obvious real quick. I like elephants, and God likes elephants. Here's a realistic elephant. It's done with interpolation with vectors. Sometimes it works. It's kind of limited. Anyway, so if you don't want to go for realism, you can go for better than realism. What do you mean better than realism? How about an elephant with blue eyes? Okay. So, I'll go first. I'll go. That's it. 7. 37. So he wants to go 8. That's random. He really legitimate moves. What does he want? 1 or 2? He probably wants 2. Okay. So now it's my turn. Now I go here. Now I go to him. Now he says 6 rook. 6 rook. Oh, he wants to go here. Okay, I'm gonna go here. Mean. God says. I'm playing too mean against God. Percival, my bird, is dying. Earlier today, there was a Bible passage about are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny, but not one falls to the ground without the Father's notice. So, Percival started coughing up blood about a month ago. Then he got a little bit better, but I think he's gotten worse. So, this is kind of a death watch, so I'm waiting for him to die. I live in kind of an old environment. All I do is I go to dentists and doctors. My parents go to dentists and doctors. And that's all we do. We watch TV, they go to the casino. I don't watch TV, I watch. Anyway, so it's kind of, I feel like I don't really have any, but I made God's temple. And now I'm waiting for something to happen. I've been fighting to bring it to fruition, but I'm in some kind of prison or something. So basically now I just kind of kill time. But I'm God's high priest, so there's nothing better to do with your time than kill time with Mr. God and enjoy divine intellect all day long. But I live in a very kind of old, I think I like it. now that you mention it, I'm kind of glad there aren't kids in my life. There's some, so like, I kind of, I guess prepared for death. I don't know how to, if you have a tooth crowned or something, I think teeth are the first reminder of mortality. I think that's when it begins to hit you. Because they don't come back. And that's it. And anyway, so yeah, I don't know when my bird's gonna die. So this is kind of weird. I don't think I've ever seen a dead body. But so this bird taking a month to die. You know, this is something that happens all over the world all the time. Okay, I have to tell you about that bird. So I had an old bird that, I loved my old bird. That was Percival. He was a badass motherfucker. And then like this other bird shows up on our back door. I swear it's the same kind of bird. I thought it was a mate, right? So I get this bird. Turns out it's a male, and they have a pecking order. And this bird always loses. Even when the old bird is crippled, this bird loses. He's a total pussy, and he's fucking annoying as fuck. He even looks kind of like a dork, and I did not like him. And one time he's just squawking, I just, fuck this, man.
Dorime, interrimo ad appare dorime. Ameno, ameno, lanciremo, dorime. Ameno, o manare imperavi, ameno. Timere, mantiremo, ameno. Interrimo ad appare dorime. Ameno, ameno, lanciremo, dorime. Ameno, o manare imperavi, ameno. Timere, mantiremo, ameno.
Okay, listen, little faggot.
They're not obliged.
Have you ever written a compiler? Have you ever written an interrupt routine? You little faggot. Have you ever written an interrupt routine? You little faggot. No, you haven't, because you're a faggot. Okay? Why don't you go write an interrupt routine, faggot? Pascal, you're fucking in the ocean with some nigger in the deep ocean. You got no clue what's underneath you. You're a faggot. Why don't you go write an interrupt routine? This is an interrupt routine. I wrote my own compiler. It has an interrupt keyword. Does Haskell have an interrupt routine? Can you write an interrupt routine in Haskell with an interrupt keyword? Huh? Can you write an interrupt routine in Haskell? Do you know what an interrupt is? You little faggot. Everything you know about Haskell is something I know about interrupt routines. How about them? How about them apples, huh? Everything you know about Haskell or Lisp, I know about interrupt routines. Fuck yourself. God. Yeah, my live stream got suspended for porn.
But I don't care. It was your doing. And I tell you this, you're gonna pay.
I mostly did that for Diana to watch the live stream. I don't really have use for live stream. What? I can blog. You know, if I write in private, then it like finds its way into the global consciousness, and in order to keep my brain from getting confused, I should write in private, because that way the causality is
But your style is no match for mine.
more obvious. If I write and then post on the internet, then I might think I'm doing it that way. But if I write in private and it ends up on the internet, then we know something.
Essere monterris, imanitore soli.